The way she stumbles across my name is a sin, as if it leaves a bitter taste in her mouth dark enough to spit out halfway through this devouring she sits in front of the classroom, facing room of 15 children with thirsting eyes, looking to hear their names said just right enough so that they could pass the test of being heard. And as she goes down the alphabetized roster of names that do not sound like her own, she comes across unfamiliar territory, marked by rivers of East Indian soil drenching the very paper in front of her. Likely this one is mine. I know it by the way her eyebrows furrow as she hesitates to cross these trenches, and when she gets to the second syllable of my last name, it was as if this formation of valleys and mountains that exist in the very blueprint of my name was just a little too wide for her to cross. And the second the violence starts, a butchering of sorts, an endless echo of stutters, an array of uncertainty in her voice, it is then that I can sense the body language of my grandmother's grandmother to be that of a wilting rose, a letdown, a suffocation, a compression of an entire anthology of worth thrown out the window like a piece of glitter when she belittles our history. By substituting the spice for a flavor that is a little bit more familiar, she finds what is convenient to her and swallows it. And it is then that I can hear the army of my ancestors lining up strategically to fight this violence, to protect my heart from its very first heartbreak, as she shrinks my name to fit the ridges of her tongue, one that has never tasted letters, seasoned with cumin, cinnamon, and cloves all at once, names that remind her that we exist, names that remind her of the ugliness of her own ancestors' truths, names that are oceans of sounds that melt together in a brown, earthy mixture of clay, soil, and stardust. Names like ours require a roll of the tongue, a licking of the lips, an effort as strong as the women's hands who came to carefully stitch together these vowels and consonants for me, woven together in my name, is the very essence of my grandmother's scent, the very wrinkles in her wise hands, the very brown skin that fills our homes with laughter and stories and circles of women coming together hand in hand to stitch together the mosaic of letters that make up the roadmap, women who took their time to ensure that my name would be my armor, so when you stumble across my syllables, tripping over the fruit that falls from the branches, and you race past these curves, way past the speed limit, and you push aside these roadblocks that arise, remember that when you sound out my name, there is an army of a matriarchy ready to remind you that our names were never crafted to sit pretty on your tongue, never meant to be digested so easily. Rather, our names were meant to simmer in the back of your throat until you realize that what you let marinate for just a few seconds is nothing short of a truth too flavorful for you to swallow.